Hey everybody, it's Chris with Simply Japanese Maples, and if you've been following along, you know that we moved towns halfway across the province into a whole new location, picked up our nursery and brought it with us, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it has been less than fun. And finally though, we're coming to the end of a bit of a phase here where we're moving everything that was crammed into one greenhouse and made it a little bit bigger and then moved that into now more of a permanent location. So super excited about that, but maybe even more excited today that it finally rained after several weeks and the trees look amazing. So let's have a quick peek. So here we are. It's quite a bit bigger space. And eventually we'll have a few more of these, but this is what we have now. So the stock's dwindling on our trees, which is great, but we still have a lot of beautiful trees here. Here's Orangeola, great dissectum that's red and green. New growth is red on top of some greens in the summer, so that's cool. Green seedlings, Acer palmatum. If you've got room for one, amazing trees folks. Here's a Makawa Yatsubusa, been trying to nurse back to health. I almost lost that during our move. Lost as in died, but it didn't. So it's looking amazing. It's really bouncing back and pushing a lot of like back budding down this trunk, which is amazing. Here's a large branch I had to cut off, and I have another one, same thing. There wasn't much left, but it's coming back. Here's a cool tree called Acer palmatum Hear You. Really interesting leaves. No two are quite alike. Here's a small little Siryu. A not so awesome looking Sangu Kaku. Here's a waterfall. Folks, most of the stock we have left right now is 2 gallons. And some of you know the backstory there. Here's a Nabashidare. Here's a similar one to Koto no Ito. This is Aogigawa. There's actually a Koto no Ito behind it. Over here we've got Acer palmatum elegans, which is a small tree that's known for its fall red and orange colors. Here's Germain's gyration, known for its moving, twisting, branching structure and very fast growth. Here's a shade lover, Tayoma Nishiki. Very green on this side, but it gets white and pink variegation. And there's it's pumpkin, which is a japonicum. This is one of the best electric oranges I've ever seen in the fall. Here's a frosted purple. Uzan Nishiki, not much variegation. Really cool colors, striations on the bark. Pink, green. It's definitely one of the things that makes this special. And then if it gets enough shade, it's going to have a lot of pink and white variegation. This one has had too much sun this year, but from this leaf you can kind of see what you can get with it. Here's a white peaches, one of my favorite ghost types. Behind that is frost or Amagi Shiguri, also very cool. Some conifers. We just started offering companion trees. So we have some ginkgos. Here's a little mugo called Sunshine. Very bright, creamy yellow new growth. This is a Scotch pine called Gold Medal. Some small little loriums. Here we've got a small tree called Nicholsone. This one's been around for a couple hundred years. Not in our nursery, but in existence. Here's Beni Shishihenga. Everyone loves this one. Everyone loves the ones that are hard to propagate. Couple Skeeter's brooms. We've got just a beauty here in Lillian's Jewel. Here's a butterfly. So these two trees, Lily-Ann's Jewel and Butterfly, are actually variegated kinds that can handle full sun. You know, you're going to get slight color differences, but they definitely can go in full sun. These ones are basically a result of some shading. And by some, I mean using shade cloth in our greenhouse. If you come around the front here, we've got some of our Schirsoanums. Here's Orium, which has been beautifully gold. It's now getting very green, as is Jordan. Here's a Hub's Red Willow. That's a nice small red to burgundy Linear-lobum. Rhode Island Red. If you don't have room for a bloodgood, that's a good substitute, a small one. There's a really nice Baldsmith in behind. Here's the leaves of Trompenberg. Highly recommend Trompenberg if you've got room for a 15 to 20 foot tree over time. It adds just a different twist to the reds you see just with these leaf lobes that kind of turn down. Here's that Shishigashira. Some Shindishojo that's very green now. Here's a red cloud. Nice colors in the leaves, leaf shape. Here's a cool little dwarf called Kiryujishi. The leaves are like Okushimo. And speaking of dwarfs, here's Green Elf. Pretty cool leaves, kind of like almost like a full moon style. Kochidori, again, another one with really interesting small leaves. And speaking of leaves, fairy hair has these incredibly thin leaf lobes. Wild. If you ever need a small, faster growing version of a Macao Yatsubusa, Acer palmatum seiyunkaku is a good substitute. Similar leaf growing habit, not quite exactly the same, but you can see a bit of that sort of tight layered shingling kind of leaf habit. Anyways, there's a bunch of our trees, folks. Thanks for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, and find our trees simply japanesemaples.ca. And until next time, hopefully you're getting some cool rains too.